Hey guys, this is the Dialogue Body Language reading. I'm looking at Wayn Willams, a serial killer of young black children. Now, he's been implicated for 2 murders, so he's away in jail or prison as we speak. But he's also been implicated in 20 to 30 other young people or black children's murder. He's a nasty piece of work. Let's look at his body language to check out what he's really saying and if he's guilty or if he's not.
The bottom line is, nobody ever testified or even claimed that they saw me strike another person, choke another person, stab, beat, or kill, or hurt anybody.
Right, if you've been with me for a while, you'll be noticing his head. Let's slow this down so we can really see what he's actually saying.
The bottom line is, nobody ever testified.
Nobody ever testified, and his head went down distinctively.
I even claim that they saw me strike another person.
Well, they did, and you know it because your head went down.
Choke another person.
Yes, he choked another person because his head went down distinctively too.
Stab, beat, or kill, or hurt anybody.
So you can safely assume that this guy has done everything he's just denied that he has done. He is a scary piece of work.
Because I did.
Because he did. His body is telling us the truth. His mouth is telling us the lies and the deceit.
What do you think you were convicted?
Fear.
Fear. Okay, so we saw this one shoulder pop up, and that actually means deceit, absolute 100% deceit. This, in this context, with what he's just done before, one shoulder up is deceit. I am lying to you. That he's making it as fear when it probably isn't about fear. Well, it's about him causing fear.
What do you mean?
Atlanta at the time was in a panic. They wanted any suspect that they could find and let.
They wanted any suspect, and he shook his head because he's lying.
Just be honest, it had to be a black person, because if it had been a white suspect, Atlanta probably would have gone up in flames. It can't.
Okay, so he said, to be honest, it had to be a black person or white. When he says, to be honest, you can definitely tell he's going to lie, because it's kind of a qualifying statement. It's a filibusterer. It's like, to be honest, and he's not going to be honest. Whenever you hear that, you know that they're not going to be honest.
Very close to that.
Do you think you'll ever be free?
No, that is not a matter of if to me. It's a matter of when.
Pursing his lips, holding back. That's what that means.
No.
Willams denies there was any such cord.
So they supposedly found a cord in his car that went round the neck of his victims.
Because if that rope had been in the station wagon that night, I'm sure they would have taken it.
Now, we've got a little bit of duping delight and arrogance with that as well.
We asked Wayn Willams about throwing garbage off the bridge. He denied his father ever said that.
Your father said you stopped to get rid of some trash.
No, my father never said that. I never said that, and my father never said it. I was probably my own worst enemy. I could see almost the shock in the jurors' faces.
When he said, you want the real Wayn Willams, you've got him, I think the jury understood that.
There are a lot of things in your case that disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
You had a lot of disappearances.
Mm-hmm.
Yellow blanket.
Yes.
Disappeared.
In the first place, there was never a yellow blanket.
There were fibers of a yellow blanket.
So you notice that he actually had a smile on his dial?
There were fibers alleged to have come from a yellow blanket. Nobody's been able to produce a yellow blanket because, quite simply, and I'm just being very blunt with you, there was no yellow blanket.
Or maybe you got
Okay, again, there was no blanket and his head went down.
rid of it in between the first time they searched.
And the trunk of the 79 Ford.
Did you ever meet any of the young men who were victims?
No, I did not.
Never met them once.
Again, no, I did not. Did not. Yeah, too formal.
No.
Not once.
No.
It's incalculable, the odds that it's not, that they were not in contact with him in his environment.
Fiber evidence is your biggest obstacle.
That fiber evidence may well have been manipulated in this case.
Okay, so I'm on fast time here, but he took a big thinking break there when she asked the question. And it's often associated with psychopaths.
Point blank and simple. Simply because they had a suspect, it was Wayn, and that manipulation, no doubt, has continued even after my trial. And
Okay, so he's distancing himself by calling him out in the third person. That's what guilty people do. They distance themselves from the actual crime.
up until this point.
Under cross-examination, in his third day on the stand, Wayn Williams blew up at prosecutor Jack Mallard.
That morning, he was a complete different person. Immediately, he started attacking. He came out
Which is very typical of psychopaths. They can put on the show when they want to.
of the shoot like a bull. When he said, you want the real Wayn Williams, you've got him. Yeah, I think all of us, the jury, understood that, yeah.
I was probably my own worst enemy. I was an arrogant, bus-headed idiot at the time, and I played right into these people's hands. I could see almost the shock in the jurors' faces if they said, my God, is this the same Wayn that was up here yesterday? I could see that.
And he regrets it.
He was doing everything he can to outsmart everybody. And it was like,
That's what psychopaths do.
I did it, but can you prove I did it?
When you got angry with the prosecutor, you said, you're a drop shot.
I called him a drop
What's a
shot.
drop shot?
And did you see that? That's very glib. He's very pleased with himself, but a duping delight going on as well.
I mean,
Quite simply, in our vernacular, a drop shot is a guy who's not worth much of anything. Just drop him and shoot him and get him out of the way. In other words, you're useless.
We reminded Wayn that he also called poor black children on the streets the same thing, drop shots.
That does not make me a murderer simply because I said somebody is a drop shot or because I
Okay, so he could have said he sort of is filibustering before we even get to the point.
called him a drop shot. That does not make Wayn Williams a murderer because I said somebody
Again, third person.
is a street urchin. Come on, we're talking about murder. The fact is, I didn't kill anybody.
And there we go. I didn't kill anyone. Head nod and a big fat smile of duping delight. He's so glib.
The verdict, guilty, on both counts of murdering the two adults, Cater and Payne.
People only wanted to look at the negative side because they wanted in their heart for this case to be over and for Wayn to be the Atlanta monster. They wanted closure. It
Oh yes, that's true.
any cost.
Leaving court,
Not at any cost, at the truth. Now, Wayn Williams has also lied and said that he used to work for the CIA. Let's look at his body language.
what Wayn had written about being recruited for espionage training as a teenager. At a secret government camp hidden in the woods near this North Georgia lake, where he was given what could amount to a license to kill.
it's called Finding Myself. It's Finding Myself. It reads like an autobiography.
Go ahead, I'm still trying.
It's a count of your CIA training.
We're not going to get into that.
And he was blinking. It shows that he's under stress. A little bit of duping delight.
Why not?
We're not going to get into that.
I got it.
And he's touching his fingers a little bit, and that shows confidence, but also he's got a little bit of energy he's trying to get off.
Copy of it.
Yeah, but we're not going to get into that.
Why not?
We're just simply not going to get into that.
Because he doesn't want to know.
You don't have to answer a single question on this.
No, ma'am.
Is it fake?
Nope.
Is it fictional writing?
Nope.
Did you work for the CIA?
We're not going to get into that.
In these pages,
Smart guy, but not smart enough.
I'll do the talking part, and you can answer what part of it you want. You write how you fired rifles, submachine guns, handled assault weapons, grenade launchers, C4, learned unarmed combat techniques
Blinking fast.
through this training group over weekends. Is it true or is it false?
We're not going to comment on
When
that.
you're 19 years
And closing the eyes because he's holding things back. Now this is Wayn Williams, the serial killer who killed many children and some adults. The dodgy guy. Wouldn't trust him as far as I can throw him, and I can't throw him. Thanks for listening. This is The Dialogue. Please like and subscribe and ding my bell for future videos.